Hey y'all, welcome to Humming Catfish. Today we're going to be making muscadine pulp fruit leather. So grab some muscadine pulp, put on your apron, and let's go. Earlier this week, I made a really nice batch of muscadine jelly, and I was left with a lot of pulp. Now normally I just compost the pulp and never think twice about it. This year, and from here on out, I am not composting them. Turns out that our friend the muscadine actually has an extra pair of chromosomes. Regular grapes have 38 and muscadines have 40. Scientists say this is why the muscadine is able to pump out these unusually large amounts of antioxidants. And they are the only grapes that have ellagic acid. They have a bunch of other fancy sounding things in them, but I will put a link in the description so that we can get to cooking. Now the skins are tart and the seeds are bitter, but I think I found something that works. I've done many test batches this week with my pulp because I had a lot to work with, and I found that adding apples and honey makes it into something that's really nice. The apples also give it some pectin that is going to help it be more pliable and more like a traditional fruit leather. But you're also going to want to know how sweet you want it depending on how you're going to use it. If you're going to use it as a standalone snack, I'd sweeten it on up. I'm going to be using mine to cut up into little pieces and put it in things like oatmeal, granola, yogurt. First thing I'm going to do is measure out my pulp. Now I have 12 cups of the pulp, so I'm going to add 6 apples. Now I'm coring the apples because apple seeds and muscadine seeds are not the same thing. There's still a lot of moisture left in the grapes. If you have a really dry pulp, you might want to add a couple tablespoons of water just so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan while we're getting the apples softened. I'm gonna get these apples stirred in here, and we're gonna cover it and simmer for about 10-15 minutes or until the apples are nice and soft. The apples have softened and it really smells good in here right now. I'm gonna be using an immersion blender to puree it up. If you don't have one of those and you just have like a regular blender or food processor, let it cool down a little bit so that you don't burn yourself, and go ahead and puree it on up. Got that mixed up pretty good, and now we're gonna run it through a food mill. This looks nice. I'm gonna put 3 tablespoons of lemon juice in here. We're gonna start cooking it down. We'll give it a taste test, see how much sweetness we want to add to it. I'm gonna get this onto a low heat and add a pinch or 2 of salt. The salt's optional, but it really helps to bring out the grape flavor. Get that all mixed in. Oh, it's so good. Very tart. I'm gonna add 1 cup of honey, and then I'll taste it after that. That's perfect. I'll let this continue to heat while stirring it so it doesn't scorch and stick to the bottom of the pan. What we want to do is reduce the moisture in this even more so it'll dry quicker. Kind of looking for a thicker than applesauce kind of consistency. I think this looks pretty good. See how it's mounding? I'm gonna get these on the trays. I'm gonna be drying these in my dehydrator, and I have these little silicone mats that are actually made for this. And we're gonna do this at 135, and it'll probably be 6 hours. And if you're using an oven, spread it thin on parchment paper and put it in your oven between 150, 170. I know a lot of ovens don't go below 170, so do it at 170, but leave the door slightly cracked. And that's nice and thick. I have one of these offset little cake frosting knives, And so I'm just gonna spread this out, and we'll do it a little bit thicker on the edges because it's gonna dry from the outside in. You can probably tell from this that you don't ever want me to decorate a cake for you. This is not my strong point. I'm gonna get this into the dehydrator. Those are in the dehydrator at 135, and it's probably gonna be about 6 hours, maybe a little bit longer, but I'll check back with y'all. It'll probably be tomorrow, and let's see how they turned out. Hello from tomorrow. I think these really turned out good. Nice and bendy. I do believe I put them in too long. I forgot to set my timer on the dehydrator, and so they went closer to 10 hours. Okay, let's give it the old taste test. I can definitely taste the grape. Well, yeah, of course. There's not really a noticeably bitter taste to this, even though it's got the seed oil in it. I can taste the tart. I don't taste the apple. I think this was really good. As they dehydrated, the flavors did concentrate. It's perfect amount of sweetness. Now, because we did crack the seeds and there's seed oil in here, your shelf life is gonna be a little bit less than if we hadn't. Once you get these in a bag or a jar or something sealed up, they should last in your pantry or on your counter for about a month. In the fridge, it should be 3 months, maybe more. And in your freezer, it should be 6 months. Again, maybe more. Just check before you eat. I think what I'll be doing with these is cutting them into strips and then rolling them up into parchment paper, kind of like a fruit roll up. Well, just like a fruit roll up. And then I'll be putting them in the freezer and then taking them out as I need them. Now I just need to find a way to ration these until next year when I can make some more. Well, that's all I got for y'all this week. I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you like what I'm doing, I sure would appreciate if you hit the like button. And if you really like what I'm doing, I'd appreciate if you considered subscribing to the channel. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.